Hello and welcome to a new video. And today's we're going to have some gameplay here that got sent to me. Shouts to you as well. You even sent me an email and I was like, yeah, why not? We're going to take a look here today at a Pokemon that I don't have built. We actually have a rank 1 shiny of though, which I want to build still, which is going to be Turtonator. Turtonator is a Pokemon that got buffed this season quite significantly. Would have access to Emma, which got buffed. Would have access to Dragon Pulse, which got buffed. Got access to Brutal Swing. Got access to the move Dragon Claw. A lot of different options. Here today we're going to see an interesting moveset of, I think it's right, the Brutal Swing as well as the Overheat in the Open Ultra League. But the Pokemon itself has especially one big benefit, and that's the typing. We see it here already. Fire and Dragon is a type combination that really works well together, as you don't have a lot of resistances, which Dragon typing generally has already. It is resisting all of the elemental types, in this case Fire even twice, which is going to be crazy. But you're also just going to have, with the Fire typing, a type that is going to be very good offensively as well. So, like, you have a lot of potential there. And then if you think about the types that are going to be difficult for you to deal with as Dragon type, which is going to be mainly Ice. Fire is going to be super effective against, and Resist, I think Ice is weak against Fire as well, like, so like you do less damage with an Ice type move against Fire type Pokemon. But you're also going to have the Fairy type, which also is only going to be now neutral against you, not a super effective move basically. And then you go up to a Steel type Pokemon, which are also going to actually now take super effective damage against you. And so you have, with the Fire and Dragon type, a lot of different kind of options. And yeah, here we have some gameplay that got sent to me, and we can move on to the next battle. So no idea what's going on here, but thanks so much for saying the gameplay. By the way, if you want to send in your own gameplay, there is a link down below. Especially in the next season, I will want to see if I can get a lot of your games there. As like still for this season, of course, send in something as well. The season is not even halfway through. But there's going to be a little bit of a break that I'm going to have to take from YouTube in the new year because baby coming up. So that's going to be exciting, but I kind of want to pre-produce some stuff for you guys as well until then. So definitely, especially for the next season, I'm going to be very interested in this. But here also, of course, I'm always liking to see some of your gameplay, especially for Pokemon that are very interesting that got buffed, like the Turtonator. Anyway, we have Gaston here, a Pokemon that I still have to build for the Ultra League as well. It is a Pokemon that I could have built already, but my girlfriend decided to build a Shellos for me for the Great League. That was, I guess, the more reasonable choice anyway. But we're going to have here now the Moonblast coming in. This is going to allow them here, the Florges, to knock out the Gaston. We're running not the double coverage moveset on the Florges, which also makes sense. Having Moonblast is going to allow you a lot of times to have like better matchups as well. And we have Turtonator here against two Pokemon that you can kind of easily deal with. But in this case, I guess it's worth to shield. Oh, okay, I guess no, that makes sense. It makes sense to shield because at the end of the day, you know that Fortress as well is not going to have the best matchup against your Primeape. And Primeape against the Dusknoir as well, now you're going to be able to get the KO with one Rage Fist, boost yourself up, and then you still have the close combat. So what they decided to do here is just to sacrifice their Florges, knowing that they kind of want to keep the shield still for their Primeape. They're going to sub out into the Fortress, which actually makes it a little bit more awkward, but it's not that difficult. We can go for a Rage Fist here, I guess. You might even want to use a shield against them. I'm not too sure. You could definitely use a shield here. Or you just go straight, you could have went straight for the close combat. I guess maybe it was just one turn before you would have been able to reach that. Yeah, shield coming up here, that's what I was wondering. If they have Earthquake, this could be a loss. Anything else is not going to really matter too much. Here you actually then need the extra one fast move there. You could have just went for one earlier. Because here you won't have a Rage Fist unless you want to go for the BM move and go for the close combat, which most I would have knocked them out as well. This is going to work out quite well. We can move on to the next one, where we all face a little bit more of an awkward matchup. We're going to have the Stunfisk here. The Unnovan Stunfisk is going to have a very good typing against Elite. While the fast move is going to be resisted, we have super effective Mud Bombs coming through. We see a swap out here into the Florges, a very nice neutral Pokemon generally speaking, which has coverage with the Water type move, Chilling Water, in order to deal with it. Chilling Water is definitely a move that I find is quite overpowered in the current meta, especially on a Pokemon like Florges. It just makes this Pokemon so much better. It's going to be, by the way, I kind of want to make videos as well towards some Pokemon that could potentially be good in the future again. Chilling Water is definitely one of those moves that I assume other Pokemon are going to get as well eventually. But as we will see here, we're going to have the Akata coming in. You're going to have another Chilling Water coming through from the opponent. And with that, we are going to see here, this is going to allow you to get the attack drop, which is great. We see the swap out into the Turtonator, catching a move that barely is going to do any damage against you. And the fast move pressure here definitely going to help you out as well to put them into range where you can even farm down with a Primeape. And I think what your goal is here is to actually win this battle with a Primeape. I think that's kind of what you want to try to set up here. By hitting that overheat, it's definitely going to help you out quite a bit. I don't think you're going to invest any shields into your Turtonator. Turtonator has some good, solid, natural bulk, but not enough to survive 2 super effective hits here. And I think that's... Oh, you actually use a shield. Not too sure if I would have done that, because at the end of the day, you can just boost yourself up on the Primeape. But I guess you want to keep a Turtonator around for later on. That makes some more sense now. As the shot move coming through here, the Rage Fist is going to connect, get the KO. And in comes Togekiss, where it's cool to have the Turtonator, but it's honestly a very, very tough Pokemon to deal with for your team right now. Generally, Togekiss, I guess the Elite is alright against it. It's not really generally a bad Pokemon to deal with for this team, but in the situation you're in currently, it's going to be a bit of a tough one. The opponent very likely going to try to catch here, but they don't actually. So you can get to another move. They're going to force a shield here basically with it. And you have to go ahead and go and try to get to another move here with your Florges. It doesn't work out. You're one fast move away with your Turtonator to go for an overheat, which is needed to knock them out. But as you're going to see, they still have a shield left as well. And there is not really a lot. Oh, they didn't go for the charge move. So you can go for back-to-back Brutal Swings here if you want to. And you can go for that move here. Brutal Swing is going to come through. This is going to do some solid damage, not enough to knock them out, most likely. Yeah, that's going to be very likely lost. The opponent has a million energy at this point as well. And this is going to be it for this game. The Aura Seal is coming through. It's going to get the KO. And we will see here as well that, yeah, Togekiss is there. We're going to see the KO for you there. And we're going to move on to the next one where you're going to have a better lead. Scizor, of course, the Pokemon that you kind of want to face. But also here, the Credilli is going to be one of those Pokemon you want to face. Interesting that the opponent outspeeds you. It's best for you to just shield up. But actually, they go for the Rock Tomb bait. So that's going to be alright. Risky move, like very, very much risky move. If the opponent went for the Grass Knot, you are screwed, absolutely. Like you're going to then lose switch advantage, which you kind of don't want to have. And even with that, you might even lose switch advantage here because the opponent does so much damage here against you that yes, the opponent decides to use 2 shields, and that is going to be a bit more awkward. Are you going to go back into... No, you're going to go into your Florges, which makes some sense here. But even at this point, they're going to be able to go for the Rock Tomb spam. And they are going to be able to actually go ahead and go for another move most likely in time before you reach your Moonblast. No, that's going to be a CMP tie. But yeah, catch the move on Mewtwo. It's, I guess, Armored Mewtwo. It is, which is going to be now weak to the Brutal Swing. It's ideal here to go for 3 fast moves and then Brutal Swing, which you do as well. This is timing-wise the best kind of way of doing it because the opponent ends up at 16 turns. You at 15 turns, you always want to be one behind the opponent. But I guess for you, the best play is maybe to just farm them down, shield farm down, get the energy. You're going to have then 2 moves here stored for the rest. You can go for the overheat against the Scizor, or you can actually take a Side Stroke as well still, I guess. And well, let's see what they're going to go back into. Scizor is going to go down immediately. They're going to go into the Credilli. Credilli is going to go down immediately. So yeah, that's going to be a good game. This is going to be it for this battle already. Because Turtonator has no chill. Turtonator is going to be able to knock that out. Actually though, I thought Turtonator would have more bulk for the Ultra League. I'm surprised on how little this Pokemon can actually take at the end of the day. But at least it deals a ton of damage, especially with that overheat. So we can move on to the next opponent. Where we will see Zack Attack with the Pokemon of Empoleon here. This is going to be interesting. We have the Runerigus coming in, which you can retaliate with the Florges. Florges, of course, having the water type coverage move is going to be quite helpful here. This is going to allow you to do quite a bit here, but the opponent actually can debuff you before you even get to your move. That is kind of unfortunate because now this is going to... not do as much damage, and you kind of need to get to another one here, and it's still putting them into range. So if you would reach your other move in time beforehand, this would have most likely put them into farmland range. Now it's going to be a bit more awkward, because I do think you have to still throw another charge move against the opponent. The opponent still goes for the Shadow Ball actually to nearly knock you out, but at least it's still going to reach another Chilling Water. But they have now the option to align themselves if they want to, and they decided to let this move go, which means you have perfect alignment again, which is going to be quite nice as the Empoleon. I actually have 2 very solid answers for it. We're going to have, the Kommo-o coming in. I guess it's best here for you to just go for the Righteous spam. Giving up the free fast move here is not ideal, but I think that's what they know as well. Like, this player is already in the expert rank, so like, I don't have to teach them on how to play the game here whatsoever. And as you can see, we have another Righteous coming in. This is the most ideal play. It's the optimal play. You kind of try to get the opponent low, because Empoleon, you still have play with your Dragon type Pokemon there. Against Kommo-o, you just really don't want to have the other one up against. It is worth it for sure as well to go ahead and go for those shields here. This is definitely going to help you out quite a bit because you kind of have all the energy now. And now you can just still go for the rage twist spam against the opponent or go for the double close combat. And as the opponent, I think, get another fast move in here. This should be a good game. As double close combat should be enough to knock them out. One is already enough because they decided to no shield. And with that, it's going to be a good game. And we can move on to the next one. But first we, I guess, claim the set here. Cool to see as well, of course, the set rewards. I include them also most of the times in my videos. And we can move on to the next opponent. We're going to have a great lead. Covenant, of course, is a Pokemon that you want to face as a Turtonator. Being a fire-type Pokemon, you're going to do some solid damage. And this is also alright for you. You can go for the overheat and swap, but again, if you swap out actually fast here enough, it's just ideal to go into the Primeape and just go straight close combat. But I guess he weren't fast enough, which now allows you to guarantee just use a shield here. There's no point of not using a shield. Like, for me personally, I feel like you played a little bit too risky here. Again, actually going for the rage twist earlier would have been ideal as well, because now they can farm you. And you still survive. Okay, that is crazy. Like, that is crazy. You still survive the hit. Because now this is going to put you definitely in a very good spot though. But I find this, like, 1 HP. Like, what is 1 HP here? It can change completely the entire match. Here we see the shield coming up, which makes sense. The thing is, you should be able to outspeed them afterwards to get you even your next chilling water before they can go for the next poison fang. So you should be in a position here right now where you can kind of force them to be debuffed again before they can go for anything themselves. Go ahead for one extra fast move there. The opponent wasn't at the move yet. But as you see here, they're gonna let the move go because they don't have a shield anymore, so that makes sense. They let the move go, and there's no way that the opponent can win this. You cannot just hardwall them, which is great, and we can move on to the next one. Also, videos a little bit longer because, yeah, again, it's what they sent in to me. So I have a lot of cool gameplay here with Turtonator, a Pokemon that's definitely worth building, by the way. It's definitely a Pokemon I would recommend you to build. It is not going to be the top meta Pokemon that you're always going to want and always going to have, but it's going to be a good Pokemon. That's kind of all that really matters here. And as you're going to see, we're going to have here the Venusaur going for the Sludge. Sludge Venusaur is actually still a Pokemon I want to showcase. This Pokemon is... I should actually showcase so many more things, actually. I just realized that my first rank 1 in the world team got a triple buff to it. So that might be something as well that I still want to showcase for this current meta. But yeah, as you're going to see here now as well, we're going to have another Raichus coming through. This is going to allow you to knock them out. But there's a lot of things I really still want to showcase. I just have to sit down and kind of make a list of teams as well. For Great League, I have a lot of things I want to showcase again. Next week, we're going to have very exciting metas coming up as well, so definitely stay tuned for this. We actually don't know what we have as bans for the Great League Remix, which I find kind of crazy. They usually always release it way earlier. And now they haven't released it, even though like, it's going to be available in like 1 or 2 days at this point. So I guess this on Saturday when you see this video, it's still 3 or 4 days. Never mind. It's like they still have some time for that. But we don't have, for example, like the meta list for like we don't have I can't make a top team video or prepare anything for it because we don't know actually what the meta is going to look like yet. But it's going to be interesting. Anyway, we're going to have Feraligatr here. Feraligatr is going to be a Pokemon, of course, that you can still deal with. It's going to be quite neutral of the matchup. And in comes, again, that Primeape going to get knocked out. And you don't really have the best coverage with your Turtonator here. So it's going to be a bit tough, as now you have to go for Brutal Swing spam. Or is one Overheat actually enough here? If I was you, I would most likely go for one fast move and then over. You can actually go for double Brutal Swing. Yeah, that makes more sense. You have 2 Brutal Swings stored already. So that is kind of cool. We're going to have another Brutal Swing coming through. This is going to be, yeah, again, the KO. And we're going to be able to now move on to the next battle. What a battle that was, though. Like, you see, again, the power of this type combination, especially. It's a fire type that doesn't take like super effective damage also from water type. It's like both ways the typing of this Pokemon is absolutely fantastic to the point where, yeah, it's such a good type. That's why it's mostly also so rare. Like, this is other, I think, than I think there's now, Gouging Fire as well. It's going to be a Dragon Fire type whenever this comes out. We're going to have Future and Paradox, like generally the Paradox Pokemon coming up eventually in Pokemon Go soon as well, because we got like the one graphics where we saw already that they're coming. I assume it's going to be for like the next Go Fest or something like this and leading up towards it. But yeah, like the Fire and Dragon typing is quite a rare typing because it's such a good one. Like, it's such a good typing there's nothing really else that you can say towards it. It's such a good typing to have. And so here we're going to have the Chilling Water coming in against the Empoleon. It's like such an awkward matchup for you. Like there's not really a lot that you can do about it. The opponent is going to be able to go ahead and yeah, take this, of course. We see the swap out now that it's going to be debuffed. This is going to be just a neutral as well, which means we are going to be in our right spot here. As we see, this is going to allow you to get the Florges in against the Turtonator. It's honestly such an awkward matchup. I don't like Florges. Let me know down below what you think about Florges. I feel like Florges is such an awkward Pokemon to play around currently, to the point where I feel like it is, I don't know, like it is just such an awkward Pokemon that it's maybe a bit too strong in terms of the coverage that it has. Like here, this one is Trailblaze, which is great, but it's so annoying, especially for the Ultra League to deal with. And soon we have the Mustang Premier Cup, which I'm going to take a look at as well. Florges is the #1 spot there. Here, you're actually going to be in a cool position though. I love Primeape. Primeape's coverage is like so cool because there's not a single Pokemon that can really take the charge moveset. So that means as soon as you're going to have shields and energy advantage on this Pokemon, you're going to be in a golden position. Here, I'm not too sure if 2 Rages are enough. It's not enough, not even close. So you have to go for another Rage Fist against the Guillotine. You have to shield. Absolutely, you are now kind of getting destroyed there. You would have not won this anyway, so I guess it makes sense. And we can move on to the next one. Where we're going to have here a Stunfisk, which is alright. You're going to have good answers in the back. We're going to see a swap out here into Florges. They don't even go for the charge move. Usually a Florges does not outspeed a Stunfisk. That is usually not on how this happens. Usually the opponent would be able to outspeed you. As you can see here, we're going to have the Golisopod coming in, where you're going to have to go for the Moonblast in order to hit them for some nice damage. I would love to, by the way, do a series as well for like tips and tricks for PvP. I think it's going to be something that I kind of want to write on as well. There's a lot of kind of content I still want to do where I haven't had the time yet for. But stay tuned, there's going to be times definitely where I'm going to be able to do all of the things that I kind of want to have here for the channel. There's a lot of cool things that I'm kind of still looking forward to do on this channel. So yeah, stay tuned. If you want to support the channel, by the way, always feel free to leave a like and subscribe in every video. That helps out the channel a lot to showcase it to other people as well. And as you can see, you're going to have here the Golisopod, which is going to go for the Aqua Jet. This is going to be alright. We're going to have here very soon the Overheat coming through. You can still take a hit. You don't need to shield. You still survive a hit. This is going to be that Mud Bomb, as you can see here. And you can keep the shield, especially for your other Pokemon, for your Primeape, because I think Primeape is going to be such a strong Pokemon to have. Yeah, this is not going to knock them out. The next fast move also does knock them out. But this just gives you energy lead with your Primeape and a shield advantage with your Primeape. And as I said before already, this is kind of where you want to have your Primeape in, because you have so much potential with it. Virizion, one close combat is not enough, so it's ideal to go for a Rage Fist first and then go for the close combat. But in this case, you try to stop out of here, which also kind of, I guess, works out. You need still another, you still need 3 charge moves here. You need a Rage Fist here in order to knock them out. But it's smart to actually let the move go here and just try to play this matchup out like you do. Because what's going to happen next is just that you're going to have more damage coming out from the other Pokemon from the opponent. So you're going to need some energy. You're going to have to use a shield here. And you need to still go for another Rage Fist and for Close Combat. One Close Combat isn't enough here, I think, as far as I know. But you don't have the time, so we have to see. Is the Close Combat enough? Maybe it is actually enough. We have to see on how things are going to be here. It is actually enough with a boost there already to knock out that Virizion. That's ridiculous, though. Like, honestly, it is crazy on how strong this Pokemon is. And we can see here now, you're going to move on to another Florges matchup. Florges is such an annoying Pokemon to deal with. Like, honestly, they're just going to go for 7 Chilling Water. Usually, that's what they always do. Dropping your attack, making you do no damage against them, and winning the most of the matchups here by saying the 2 shields. We see Heliolisk swapping into an Overheat. This is not an ideal matchup for the Heliolisk, especially as you're going to have a good answer still in the back. They should be able to... Oh, they actually don't even get to another move here. This is ridiculous, as now Primeape is loaded with energy. We know already that they have the Florges there, but even though they have the Florges, it's actually not a bad matchup because you're going to have access to your charge moves. You should be able to just spam those Rage Fist like it's nothing. And this is going to allow you now to get the boost. And this next move is coming... Oh, you have lag. That is annoying. This lag happens sometimes to me as well. I have no idea why. You want to go for the close combat, which makes sense in that position as well, because the wolf done more damage. But as we will see here now, we're going to have the opponent going for their Charizard. They're going to be able to only go for the air cutter because like Blastman is going to be double resisted here, which is going to be interesting. So yeah, as you're going to see, we're going to have the opponent going for their charge move here. It's going to be the air cutter. You don't want to go for a Blastman if it's double resisted. This is going to knock you out though. Should have went for the charge move a little bit earlier on, I guess. But it is what it is. As we will see here as well, we're going to have the Charizard against the Florges. You have the super effective coverage with Chilling Water, which allows you to drop the attack from the opponent again. But the Blastman is just going to knock you out, and they just even forward. I think they just kind of stopped the recording in the middle of it. They had enough here, I think. Anyway, as you're going to see here next, we're going to have the Bellybolt. Bellybolt is going to be an interesting Pokemon. Bellybolt is a strong Pokemon in the current meta, of course. But Bellybolt is a Pokemon that only has electric coverage, which against a Pokemon like the Turtonator is not going to help, especially as they even have a fast move here that's apparently electric type. So that is kind of interesting. This is kind of definitely a very interesting thing there. As we will see as well, the opponent is going to have, their Parabolic Charge coming in. This is going to be alright. We're going to have the Overheat. This is going to do a lot of damage, but they're going to be, of course, debuffed already. So let's see on how this is going to go. We're going to have them super low. And again, they're only going to do resisted damage here against you, which is going to be perfect. As we will have here as well the Steelix coming in. Steelix is going to not appreciate this move either, as this Overheat is coming in. Even though it's debuffed, it's going to do still a solid amount of damage, and the Chilling Water is going to be now enough to knock them out as well at this range. So this is going to be absolutely perfect. As we're going to see here as well, we're going to have another Chilling Water coming through here. This is going to be perfectly fine. This, honestly, Chilling Water Florges is going to be kind of the Pokemon that you want to build for the current Ultra League meta, and this is going to be not enough to knock you out. You can let the move go, you can farm them down. And again, this is like the awkward thing here as well. No matter which Pokemon comes in here, it's going to get most a debuff from Chilling Water. Scizor comes in, gonna get the debuff. And this is why Florges is such a strong Pokemon. This is why Florges is such a problem in a lot of cases as well. It is just because this thing is ridiculous in what it can do in terms of like the pure debuff power of this thing is crazy. And here is going to be a win in the last battle. Thanks so much for sitting in those battles. It was a lot of fun to showcase them as well here. There will, like, Turtonator, it's definitely a Pokemon that you kind of really want to build. It's a fun Pokemon to run. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you then, though. Bye-bye.